Hello. My name is Stephanie Pace. I'm shy. It's nice to be here. I've had kind of a bad day, so I know. The guy I'm seeing hasn't been answering my calls, ladies, which is fine. It's just getting really expensive to keep buying all the candles it takes to summon him. But I just started a new job. I teach kids how to garden, which is very cute. And it's kind of important work to me. I feel like learning shouldn't end in the classroom. It should only end when you realize I've been dead the whole time. But people always ask me when they learn that I work with plants, what's my favorite plant? And it's a fun question. And for me, it's a Venus flytrap. It's kind of flashy. It's kind of obvious. But I do feel like I relate to it. So a lot of people don't realize that a Venus flytrap, the reason it eats bugs is because it grows in a nutrient-poor environment. So it has to get its nutrients elsewhere. And I feel like I just relate to it because I feel like I grew up in an attention-poor environment, to which I've also adapted by eating bugs. It's really worked out for me. I identify as a mysterious woman. And I'd like to say that it's natural, but I do have to work to cultivate it. It's a little trick. I don't ever burp or fart. I don't think it contributes to an air of mystery. The only gas that I let leave my body comes from the dry ice I store in my vagina. Men are actually pretty cool with that. But I have had a problem with reactions to like my personal grooming, which is to say I don't do anything, which is fine. But I do think it's just a shame that society has taught men to be uncomfortable with the crop circles in a woman's pubes. Just open a health book. I get a lot of unsolicited feedback about my looks, but I'm not tired. I just have resting open casket face. Sometimes I feel like when men look at me, they only see one thing. But I'm not only a vase, I'm also two profiles. Just takes a second to see both. I like a lot of scary things, but I'm not into all of them. I'm really not into vampires. I feel like I just don't get them at all, just because I only appear in mirrors and pictures. Another thing I'm not that into is conspiracies. I don't really buy into them, but I do think they can be fun. For example, it's kind of my kink. I don't really believe we faked the moon landing, but I do love to imagine Stanley Kubrick being as mean to Neil Armstrong as he was to Shelley Duvall. Just dripping on the stage thinking about it. Another thing that I'm not that into is birds. You get it. And I like most animals. I even love snakes, even when I was bitten by one. But I did hear that snakes actually only bite when threatened, and after that, I was just incredibly flattered. But I do hate birds. I think they think they're too hot. But I think that when we hate something, it's just because we don't understand it. And so I've been trying to learn more about birds just to become more comfortable with them. So I actually recently got this bird app on my phone that a friend in the audience suggested to me. And basically it helps you identify any birds that you might have seen. And I'm doing this to be more into them. And so did anyone here see a bird recently that they can maybe remember a few details about that maybe we can try to identify together?
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, so basically for everyone else, how this app works is you kind of put in a few details. And it'll give you a list of birds. So what size was the bird? Was it sparrow-sized, robin-sized, crow-sized, goose-sized, or somewhere in between any of those?
Probably
Okay, little. And what were the main colors? You can name up to 3.
Yellow, black, white.
Okay. And was the bird eating at a feeder, swimming or wading, on the ground, in trees or bushes, on a fence or wire, or soaring or flying?
On trees or bushes.
Okay, well, I wish it were on the ground. And so then what the app does is it gives you a list of possible birds that you saw. And it looks like from all the information that you gave me, what it's saying is the bird that you saw was some fucking bitch. Okay, guys.